Hello, welcome. We are so glad you are here with us. Relax, get comfortable, and we will begin our journey out of the rain. The house on the hill is quiet on this spring evening. The rain falls softly on the grass in the gardens and plinks musically on the flagstones of the terrace. A woman stands in the floor-to-ceiling window, overlooking the valley below, and watches the clouds roll forward and the rain sweep across the houses below. She holds a steaming mug and sips the hot liquid slowly, letting it warm her from the center of her chest all the way to her toes inside her sheepskin slippers. Before we begin our story, we are going to start with what we call a wind-down exercise. This is to enable you to be fully relaxed. Please get comfortable. Back and neck relaxed. Relax your shoulders. Now is the time to slowly unwind before sleeping. Time to relax. Let the thoughts of the day go. Time to come into a place of quiet awareness. Let's start that by focusing your awareness on your breath. A simple exercise, yet an essential exercise to help relaxing the mind. Begin by closing your eyes. You will be breathing only through your nose. Keep your mouth shut. Start by slowly breathing into the deepest point in your lungs. Deep breathing down to your lower abdomen. When you exhale, do so gradually. At the bottom of your breath, pause for a moment, then continue. Now at the top of your breath, pause for a moment before continuing. Bring all of your concentration to following this pathway of your breath. If the mind wanders, bring your focus back to the breath. Now, on your next incoming breath, notice how it is bringing deep relaxation and healing into your body as it descends. It starts at the top of your head. Ever so slowly, it moves down through your brain. Its passage brings deep relaxation. As it travels, any tension, any worries, any thoughts, any concerns that you may have are all transformed into a quiet, deeply relaxed state. Continuing on. It now moves ever so slowly down through your face. Any tightness in your jaw is relaxed, as are the muscles in your cheeks, down to your neck. Any tension in your neck or shoulders is brought into deep relaxation, continuing on down through your back. Any tightness or stiffness in your muscles is transformed into deep relaxation by the golden light's radiant healing. Your whole upper body is now fully relaxed and filled with light. Continuing on through your arms and thighs and legs, all muscles are brought into a state of deep relaxation and peace. Now take one last long deep breath and exhale. Holding the stillness of your relaxed mind and body, let's continue. Rivulets of rain come down the roof into the eaves and flow down decorative chains to great barrels, ready to water the gardens when the sun returns. The infinity pool on the edge of the terrace is dimpled with raindrops, and the underwater lights seem to shiver and blink with the movement of the water. Wind blows a curtain of rain over the water in the pool, and the woman watches the patterns on the surface of the water shift and change. It is quiet in the house. The only sounds are the ticking of the clocks, the rain on the roof, and the wind singing outside. The woman sighs and turns from the window. She pats a cushion on the white sofa as she passes, and takes a moment to smell the white roses in the glass vase on the table by the door. One last look at the ever-changing cloudscape outside, and she moves to the hallway. She turns the bolt on the large, solid oak front door at the end of the hall, turning off lights as she goes. In the kitchen, her hand brushes each lock on the windows, and in turn checks every appliance is off. The counters are clean and shining, ready for the morning. She pauses by the French doors to the terrace. The rain outside has become a momentary deluge, and she watches as streams run across the terrace. The great trees all around the house hold the ground steady and drink in this springtime gift of water. When the sun comes, a great flowering will come, and the grass will explode with new growth. The rain slackens off again as the darkest clouds move on. The woman flips the sturdy lock on the French doors and turns off the lights. Only the glow from the city below lights the room now. In the dining room, she runs her hand over the table made of old wood, reclaimed from one of the old lumber mills that used to be the only buildings up here in the hills. She imagines workers huddling inside from a rainstorm like this. The glass wall that slides open to the terrace has been shut and locked all winter. And the woman smiles at the thought that soon they will open it again and let the spring breezes in. The woman follows a wide staircase up, sinking into the deep, soft carpet with every step. The rain on the roof is louder here, pittering on the roof tiles and pattering on the many skylights. She follows the hall to a bathroom as large as a bedroom, with a clawfoot tub in front of a floor-to-ceiling window looking out over the valley. The clouds are moving more quickly now, and the shifting patterns of rain in a watery gray aurora borealis. The woman turns on the water, checking the temperature with her hand. She lights a few thick beeswax candles around the room and drops some rose-scented oil into the bath water. Humming, she turns off the lights and stands at the window while her bath fills. She breathes in deeply, taking in the warm, earthy smell of the candles and the waft of delicate florals from the bathwater. Occasionally, when everything is still, she can hear sounds from the city below. Traffic, car horns, church bells, sirens. The occasional blast of a radio from a car with its windows down on the road. The rain blocks it all out with its own constant song, its own ceaseless rhythm. Normally, she would listen to music when taking her bath, but tonight, the rain is her music. The woman tosses her clothes into the laundry basket that hides behind the door and eases herself into the warm bath. The edge of the tub is cool on her neck, and she closes her eyes. She stretches out and luxuriates in the feeling of the warm water, melting all the tension in her arms, in her legs, in her back. It seeps away like the rain into the thirsty ground after a long, dry day. A shuddering sigh escapes her, and she instantly feels better for it. Listening to the rain, she thought of the trees she shares this hillside with. Impossibly tall red cedars. They have witnessed so much in the 1,000 years they've grown here. She thought of the sweet smell when she walked through the forest near her home, and the way that scent stayed on her fingers when she rubbed the nubbly, scaly leaves. In the summer, she lay underneath them, marveling at how straight and true the trunks grow, and watched the tops sway in the wind. The cedar grove was like a cathedral, hushed and sacred, smelling of its own incense and singing its own hushed hymns. When the January fogs wrapped the trees in its downy fingers, it was even more mysterious. The space seemed to grow and grow, and the woman was never sure if she had entered another world entirely, walking there in the fog, as it seemed too much farther from one end to the other. At the end of the grove is the root system of one of the red cedars, upended into the sky by a storm many years ago. Its gnarled roots are home to so many small creatures. The woman can stand there for an hour and never see them all. It rises half again as tall as she is. It must have grown here for hundreds of years before a storm pushed it down. Moss is starting to claim it, and smaller trees grow along the top of the fallen giant, getting a few steps closer to the sunshine. She imagines the red cedars tonight, creaking in the wind, their masses of spidery roots drinking up the rain. They keep the hillside stable and secure, and she feels protected, living so close to them. Lifting herself out of the bath, she dries herself off with a fluffy towel and pulls on a warm robe. Slipping her feet into her slippers, she blows out the candles and smiles at the small smell of charcoal as each one smokes a tiny bit. The bathtub gurgles as it empties, and she pads down the hall to her bedroom. She smiles to herself as she walks through the door to the bedroom. It has always been her favorite room in the house. Jutting out over the terrace below, floor-to-ceiling windows surround 3 sides. It is like floating in space over the valley, with the cedar grove just visible on the left, as if to remind her, as if to ground her. The rain falls more gently now, and she stands still to hear it. Curling her toes, the woman can almost feel the earth expanding with all the water, ready to burst forth with new life when the sun shines in a few days. Sliding off her slippers, she slips under the covers. Cool compared to her body, still warm from the bath. The sheets are clean. She stretched them over the bed just this afternoon, smiling with the thought of this moment now. Smooth and cool, she stretches and just revels in the calm white bed. Tugging the duvet up, it settles over her lightly, and she can feel the warmth spreading across her body and the dampness at the back of her neck from her bath. She curls onto her side, pulls the blankets up to her chin, and watches the rain fall into the watery light from the infinity pool below. Each raindrop appears for a moment as it passes through the light. She can hear rain dripping off the trees now, and in the stillness, a few birds calling to each other in the trees. She snuggles down into her pillow and hugs the blankets close. Here she is warm. Here she is dry. Here she is safe. Tomorrow, she decides, she will visit the cedar grove and walk among those great giants. She will bring a blanket and a thermos of tea and watch the small creatures going about their lives around her, and breathe in the springtime scent of sap and newness and growth. She will come home sticky with sap and leaves in her hair and joy in her heart. Closing her eyes, she listens to the wind in the trees and the rain, gentle now, as if singing her to sleep.